Shower. And shower and shave. So here we are, sitting out on a Sunday, and the wife's sitting there doing herself up. We're gonna go mosey on down to the store. I gotta pick out some material for the golf cart shed or tool shed, PEX lines and electrical and stuff like that, because we're gonna be getting things situated as the contractors will be hopefully migrating in here soon. So we got news this last couple days. The house is sold, closed, and then we received the money from our Michigan house. So that's done and over with, taken care of, and here we are. So as you saw, I probably posted. I posted some pics yesterday of going out to eat and had a nice view of the Superstition Mountains. Yeah, today's current. A little overcast, but that's good. It's keeping the sun tampered down. It got to 115 yesterday. So, yeah, it's my new truck. My dad's actually that I inherited. But, yeah. So, that's from my front deck. Not going to really. And then the side yard here in the gazebo. So, in the golf cart. Anyhow, that's our day. So the question was, or I posted was, did we make the right decision? And that's a conversation we had, the wife and I, this morning. We actually got on the golf cart path for the golf course to kind of see the view of the houses from the golf course side, and of course to see the greens. It looks pretty cool. We're looking forward here in a couple months. We're not diving into golfing right now until I get this tool shed done and get the rest of my stuff in there. We still got to buy cabinets for it. They had a lot of hodgepodge. They took scrap wood and made hodgepodge, cobbled in shelving. Yeah, wasn't really a good use of space. So I stood back, said I need to gut this down to the walls, to the studs, build it back out, and put like more of an industrial cabinets in there with doors. And so she's been looking at them, trying to get some priced out. I need just two 4-footers and one 3-footer, or two 3-footers and one 4-footer. So that should be suffice to get us the adequate storage to put things away and finish out what I got left in the remote storage. And so anyhow, that's the update on that. We're still, job's going good. Learning a lot of new things. We had got taught how to decommission an old bus and get it ready for auction. So I did that the other day. Yeah, like I said, we're just waiting on our contractor. He's backed up. He's good, and he's so damn good that he's got a waiting list. So you're on the list where we're at when he gets here, because he'll probably be here for about, my guess is maximum 3 weeks, 2 weeks. Siding, trim, windows, doors, electrical. We're going to have an RO water filtration put in. And what else did she say? And new lighting out here, lighting around in the front deck, rear of the house. So, yeah, so lots going on, lots getting done. And, but the $1 million question is, was it worth it? We've been here 2 months next week. And I asked her that on that golf cart ride today. Do you have any regrets? Are you seeing things that are questioning maybe we shouldn't have moved? And she said, absolutely not. And she's been happy. It's just the fact that if you're going to make a move, she did this. Now, get this. My wife is experienced at moving across the country. She graduated in 1990, and within a year after graduation, she packed up, and moved to Seattle and lived there for 20 years. Then moved back, and shortly after she had moved back, met me, and I want to say, what was it? Within 3.5 years, we moved across the state, and 12 years later, we moved back across the country again. So she has moved a lot of times. She's used to it. She's well diverse in this whole big move, and I don't think I'd gone down the road doing this with another woman that, or at least another significant other that would probably fight, complain. She never fought or complained, knew it was going to be painful and a struggle mentally, because you're uprooting everything again. In the last 12, 13 years, we've moved twice, once across the state and once across the country. So um, has it been taxing? Yes, more on her, because of her health. But I think once we get out of, you know, the the joy of the summer heat in Arizona, it's not a perfect place. It's not for everybody. We moved as the heat came in, so we moved in the end. We were here at the end of June, 110, 115 degree heat. Um, Moving it, arriving and unpacking and getting everything done in that kind of heat, it tests you. Um, it's only going to get better from here. Each and every day, each and every passing week, it's getting better. Things are stabilizing. Things are, showing better direction and settling down. So it takes a lot, but you got to stay the course. You've got to stay focused, and you got to stay calm about it when things are getting so seems like they're getting out of control, that you start wanting to get pissed off. Um, yeah, I've gotten frustrated a few times. I've actually sat out on the gazebo sweating my butt off for 2 hours, just getting myself recentered, because I was just in a frustration mode. I had not gone through it as much as she has. I've moved from Michigan to Atlanta, Georgia, back to Michigan, and then across the state. Um, I've moved a lot in my local area. I've moved from place to place to place quite often. But a major move like this was a first for me. So she kept me pretty grounded and pretty dialed in. And let me see. She's been getting herself ready, because we got to go to Lowe's. And we need to get some stuff ready for the contractors when they get here. The big thing is some electrical stuff. I got to get water, PEX lines, and all that I got to run this week. Hose reel, um, the wall board for the tool shed. She's going to pick out the two different kinds I got put aside there to see which one she's going to feel is deemed better. If I could get her out here or not, I don't know if she wants to sit out here. It's not that bad right now. Yesterday was bad. We stepped out to eat around 5 o'clock. Yes, and it was 115. But we sat inside at a high top and looked out the big bay windows to a nice cactus, which I posted in Superstition Mountains. We had some nice barbecue brisket, jalapeno uh, cornbread with honey on the side, and fries. And I actually had, for the first time this year, a beer. And I had a couple Dos Equis draft. Um, Washed that down, and it was just like, because we kind of celebrated in a way that we got the Michigan house. We got what we wanted out of it. It took us sitting on it for like 4 months, but we finally got it. So with that money, we're dumping it in this place. Hey, babe. And here's the big boy. So see if she'll come and sit with me and just chime in. She doesn't need to be on the camera, but get your opinion. You're all dialed up. Oh. There's Miss Laura.
Hi guys.
So I guess let's have a Q&A here. The title of the thumbnail was, was it the right decision for us to move out here? I've asked you this a couple times, but this morning on that golf cart ride, I said, you know, do you feel regrets? Do you remember Scotty P from the Millers? Regrets.
Regrets.
But I just wanted to make sure she wasn't getting depressed. She's, like I said, she has uprooted herself several times, twice for me and once for her ex. And I just wanted to make sure she's not, I don't want her to be depressed. So I'm taking her feelings in consideration of everything, because it can't be a one-sided, this, it's my way or the highway type thing. It's got to be, we're both in it, all in. And what do you think? What, this move, it's we're older now. When you did this, you were what, 19, 20 years old?
19.
So
a lot harder now as we're older. Physically and mentally.
But how was it when you were 19 going from Michigan to Seattle, Washington? What can you recollect from that time?
Um Gosh. I mean, it was tough. It was moving into basically in-laws' basement, so it wasn't the ideal situation off the get-go. Um it was more missing family than anything at that point, although it was trying to get away from bad situations too. So um, it was total shock of um, just different from small town to big city. So that was a bigger thing. And then trying to get settled and get jobs and all of that were it's
Trying to find
totally
your identity out there.
yeah.
Um,
Um, so it was more homesickness. Um,
and that's what I
and just
basically inquired this morning
yeah.
was, are you getting depressed or because now she moved back from Seattle, for a little content because her parents were getting older. Her brother's MS was progressively getting more aggressive and worsening his health. So she moved back with a lot of families' health care in mind and I wanted to make sure that being here is, do you feel you need to go back and spend time there with them? And she's been doing a lot on the phone and video and all that to help make sure all their medical stuff is being fulfilled. But I just want to make sure you're not staying here because it's an obligation to me.
No, and that's even when we were in Michigan, I wasn't able to go back and forth to help them anymore because it was 2.5 hours each way, and I'm not able to do the drive, and so what I was providing for my family at that time was basically via phone and video and a lot of stuff in the background. So, and that's what I'm able to do from here. So it's still a lot of the same stuff that I was doing via Michigan. So it's basically the same. I'm not able to do because of my health. I'm not able to do the physical stuff of actually caring for or doing the driving back and forth to medical appointments and things like that. So I'm able to do what I can basically from bed when I'm not feeling well, of doing things from my phone or the computer while I'm laying down. So it's the same from here. So
And, go back 8 years, before COVID, she was driving over across the state to take care of her dad that was failing with dementia. And she was able to stay anywhere from 1 to 3 months to help see through doctor's appointments and day-to-day care at home because they never, wanted to put him anywhere near a home or assisted living or anything. So, um, so I just always check in with her to make sure if there's something we need to do different. But keeping that in mind, not the mindset I would have had in my 20s. I was a very more self-centered, selfish young man back then who did not understand. And I think the turning point for me was 26 years ago from my divorce, being done dirty there, but also shortly after that, getting custody of my son and going to school to be a doctor and changing my whole lifestyle, my career, and everything that, all my identity of who I was, a mechanic, welder, truck driver, just the mullet, wild running kid, and to turn around and be a mature adult. That was the turning point. Then raising my son all those years as she stepped into our lives, and seeing my son and I. But and then her health failing and having to take care of her and step up and say, this is more priority than that. So it wasn't taking trips and buying toys and material things and that, but it was more what is best for our future. We don't look for tomorrow. We look at where does this put us in 1 to 10 years, even sometimes 20 years down the road, especially with our investments. What kind of return are we going to get between 10 and 20 years? And we're very fortunate and grateful for our investment fiduciary that we have hired on. And he has taken everything and moved it almost like 100-fold from where we were when we left to where we are now. And all we can do is continue building on from there with our home-based businesses and other jazz. And then my retirement, my state pension going, building here at the school. So I've got positive things going on for me, but I've always got to look over my shoulder and say, are you okay? Because this isn't about me, but I'm just trying to make sure that in 10 years, if I need to walk away from this job because of my health, or maybe I have to care for her more, we're a better position. So we're always looking 10, 20, 25 years out right now. And yeah, the house is 15 years old. Do we need to put a lot of stuff into it like we'd like to? No, we don't have to, but we want to because we don't want to be looking at windows and dilapidating trim and siding 10, 15 years down the road where this place is getting run down. We'd rather, while we got the money, put the discretionary money into reinvesting in this house and get the renovations done, going. And then that way we can sit back for the next 10, 15 years and not have something on the side that we're worrying about. We did that with the Michigan house. We did major renovations each step of the way. It's like every year I was doing something major to it, and it was just nonstop. But it was always me doing 90% of the work or bringing in someone to help. And it just got to be where I don't want to be spending my next 10, 20 years fixing on my house. So, vehicles, they come and go. They're expendable. I don't put value in them. I don't need the latest, greatest vehicle. My truck, my dad's truck, is a 2008 Nissan Titan. Her car's a 2019 Highlander. They're in great condition for their ages. They're low miles for their ages, and that's not important to us to be driving, to be tied up in an $800 a month Mercedes, BMW payment or something to flex, and I don't need that. It goes A to B, gets me to and from work, and it picks up groceries and gets supplies from Lowe's, Home Depot, or wherever we're at, or if we want to get on the road and travel. Which I said earlier, we're going to be heading up to Sedona Labor Day weekend for a day trip and go up and revisit Bell Rock that we sat on back then. Before I want to say we sat up there before the YouTube channel started. Yes, about 6 months before that, and because I started this in 22. But we're not going to hang out here too long because she got dialed up and we got to run to Lowe's. But was it worth it to stop a running freight train that was making great money with stability and all that jazz? But we knew in 10 years down the road we would have 1,001 regrets to Sunday if we didn't make this move, because we'd have looked in hindsight and said should have, could have, would have. Then we'd have been talking in past tense of we should have moved, we should have done this, we should have done that. So now we've done it. We're here. We can grow old. We can.
And we get to spend way more time together.
I'm home every day.
He's home every day. We can go down to the pool after he gets home from work.
Run errands.
Run errands. He can help me, drive me to the grocery store. Just stuff that makes it a lot easier. So
you don't have to rely on, we've had great neighbors.
Sleeps next to me every night. I get somewhat better sleep. I'm still in a lot of pain, so my sleep is disrupted, but at least I know where he's at night, so I'm not up 24/7 worrying about him when he's out on the road, wondering what's happening to him, where he's at, danger, all of that jazz. So at least he's at home sleeping next to me every night, so I don't have to be worrying about where he's at and all of that.
And I'm working in a job environment that is very safety conscious. I'm learning a lot all the time, so the challenge of getting introduced to a new learning curve is nice. It keeps it stimulated. Do I care to drive the bus and run bus routes with kids?
Absolutely, no.
Absolutely not. I would pass that up. But our generation, you got to remember, all the kids that are in their 20s do not want jobs like this. They don't want to be physically outside working, turning wrenches, driving buses, doing any of that. It's going to be when Gen X finally hits that peak of where they can't get out and carry society anymore. These kids are going to be looking at autonomous. They're going to be looking at AI and all this for doctors and business and just getting anything done. I see a lot of Waymos. The two things I see a lot of out here when I'm driving a bus route is a shit ton of Waymos and DoorDash. I see DoorDash autonomous carts on the bike paths everywhere in Gilbert, down to Chandler, and up towards Mesa. They're everywhere. And they look like scary little robots on wheels bouncing down the road. It's about the size of a I want to say a go-kart. So I've seen a few break down in the intersections where then you'll see a tech. I saw a tech out there one time on Gilbert Road, and he was out there with the controller. He probably wired into it so it wasn't going on the satellite or whatever, and he was driving it, he was walking behind it, driving it down the sidewalk. So whether it ran out of juice or it malfunctioned, but I see a lot of that. So there's a lot of tech stuff. There's a lot of techie stuff out here. A lot of data centers, a lot of manufacturing going up in areas, but I'm not a fan of it. But it's the trade-off that we did to be in a better weather climate for the future. I'm looking at myself being 80, 85 years old and being able to go out on a Sunday morning and hit the golf balls and not be stuck in the house during sub-zero degrees and snow and ice and all that jazz. I just want to be able to live outdoors year round. So I have no regrets. She has no regrets. She has said it right here personally, not that it came out of my mouth. But we're enjoying ourselves. We are definitely looking for the heat to break here in another 30 days, and so is this guy. That guy is not enjoying the heat. He's from Florida when we fostered him. Hey, bud, Benny. Benny. Hi, bud. And he's had a sour belly lately, so she's working with the vet and taking him tomorrow, right?
Yep, he goes back in tomorrow.
Yeah, he's having tests, and he's a senior. He's 13 years old, so he's starting to show some senior ailments and medical stuff that we have to address. You can see he's huffing and puffing there. He only takes so long out here, but you can see I got the shades down too all around us. Without those down, it just it's a lot more. I want to say it gets unbearable to be in the front deck. The other thing too is we're gonna put Oops. Turn you back around. We're gonna have a ceiling fan put in out here when they redo all the siding and all that jazz. So we're gonna have all nice ambient lighting put all around the outside of the deck and in the back with the gazebo and all that. And we're gonna get a big, what they call, she calls it a swamp cooler, but we're gonna have big where you plug in the garden hose into a cooler. It's about half the size of our golf cart, so it covers 1,600 square feet. But we're gonna get a cooler for the gazebo so we can use that in the summer months. We're gonna have a ceiling fan put in the gazebo and hardwire the gazebo to the house, so that's got to have conduit and electrical outlets on opposing poles with a breaker to it. And then I'm running PEX lines and a spigot out towards the back of the tool shed so I can run water to that cooler or have water accessible right away if we're entertaining during the winter months. Um, so yeah, we're kind of laying the place out to be very enjoyable. And even like our contractor come in and they measured all our windows, but like these little windows, they're getting replaced, but these open and close. And he goes, "Do you really need these windows to open and close?" And we said, "No. Why would you want to open those little skinny windows?" So he's just going to make them all permanent. But the windows they're ordering are made right here in Arizona for the Arizona climate. And then our lights up above in the kitchen, they're going to make sure they get dark tinted. And we're going to have a tint on these more than what they already are. So we're having all custom made windows for each and every hole of this house. And we're going to have stone out front, down below here along the front. So we'll have a stone siding on the bottom half for curb appeal. So yeah, I said, let's build this house as if we were building it from ground up and have it the way we wanted. So the only thing left in the kitchen is the kitchen sink and faucet, and I got to replace the shower head. Is the O-rings are bad in the dial of the head. So she's looking at one, and I said, yeah, I can change that out. It's got the up and down sliding pole and all that. So once we get that in, and the kitchen sink I can do, but for the most part, we're turning the outside renovations over to the contractors and the electrical. And her and I are going to tackle the tool shed and finish that and have that, and then the cabinetry and all that. So I got a nice little workshop that I can use for decades to go forward. And but anyhow, we're gonna cut you guys loose. We have no regrets. We've been here 2 months. It's been hot every freaking day. They said, if I guess if you're gonna move feet first into the coals and the fire. That's what we did. It didn't deter us because my boss at work asked me. He goes, You've been at work for a month now. What is your take on it?" And I said, "Yeah, it's hot, but you know, her and I went through this in the wintertime. Whether I had to come home and dig the driveway out to get in the driveway after all week on the road, or going in on Sunday mornings or Saturday afternoons and dig my truck out from a snowstorm, then, get it down the road through snow, ice, snowstorms, and sub-zero degrees. There's times when it'd be 0 or 10 below, and the bunk heater can't even keep the truck warm up enough that I've got to run the engine. And so it's a trade-off. So can I be in shorts? I'm going to tell you what, other than at work with pants and shirt, I am in shorts and sandals. Um, I never knew what Birkenstock was until the wife bought hers, and then I need a pair. Yes, I got socks on right now because I'm putting my Hokas on to go walk in the store. But normally I'm barefoot with sandals, shorts, the whole jazz. Yeah, so I'm taking it in. And she has gotten the most color I've seen her ever have in 15 years of, getting a suntan on her arms and face and whole body. And so, yeah, we've gotten some good sun. We're definitely getting the vitamin D. We're eating healthy. And we may have a drink occasionally every other weekend, but for the most part, we're just keeping it healthy and just moving forward to have a prosperous lifestyle going forward from this point on. But yeah, I think at some point here in the next 30 to 45 days, I'll bring you guys along. And when we're all golfing the golf course here on the resort. So all we got to do is jump on the golf cart with our bags, run down, jump on the first path we see, whatever hole that is, and just round robin it. And but we ran the whole course today, and it was really nice. It smelled great. The course looked awesome. It looked fun, and the houses. A lot of people that are on the golf course, they have excellent views. That she said she wouldn't mind if we had some extra discretionary money to keep this house. I said keep this house and rent it, but she wouldn't mind having a nice bigger house on the golf course itself. So there's a couple she's seen, but everything's got a price. But for now, we're gonna sign off, get in the car and head on out. We got things to get done, and so I appreciate you guys being here and supporting the channel. More is to come. Sorry that was up close. We're sitting on our wicker chairs here, so we're just, and there goes a husk from a palm tree scraping on the ground behind us. So sounds like someone's dragging an axe. That's the only thing is palm trees around here. When the winds kick up, you're usually picking up carcasses of the husk, like corn husk, for the most part. But no, it's not too bad. And
Better than shoveling snow.
yeah, and I will say so far, I'm glad we made the move this year. I mean, to ask me 12 months ago, I'd be sitting here on this deck, I would have probably laughed. But the fact that everything happened from February to June is an act of a blessing from God, that the stars and moons aligned right, that we were able to make this happen. And I got to thank a few people. I appreciate my neighbors, Mark and Dana down the road, if they ever see this video, that, they've been great and welcoming to help us, when we need help here at home, especially with the wife when I'm working. And Ron Sessions, who was my mentor and the guy I looked up to say, you got to really step it up in your, working game, especially driving truck in the day. But I'm working side by side with him. He's teaching me a lot. And Ken and Kevin there at my work, my supervisors, who are guiding me through transitioning, back into mechanics. They understand it. I have the fundamentals there. I just got to be honed in on it. So everyone's been patiently working with me, and I appreciate that. So I'm not getting frustrated or barking at anyone. Some days you got good days, but I got more good days than I got bad days. I have had one bad day, and the rest have been good. So I've had to learn, when I have a bad day, sit down and talk to her about it, and just kind of let it go from there. So, but otherwise, it's been going good, folks. And look for more stuff to come. We'll take you along with the Sedona trip. We'll definitely live stream from Bell Rock. And Laura can tell you when we're sitting on Bell Rock what that means with the vortex. If you want to look ahead, the vortex from certain areas of the earth with the energy that comes out of it and how it helps align all of your chakras. Mm-hmm. And so anyhow, that's to come. There's here.
No signal up there.
If there's signal up there, but I will say that we follow a holistic path in our lives. So we're gonna go have some fun, enjoy the rest of the day before Monday comes around. So hopefully y'all having a good day. I know for many of you, your football season's starting. I just don't get into football anymore. I got too many other things that I just actively doing, especially in this climate. Last thing I'm gonna do is sit around and watch TV. If I turn the TV on anymore, I don't think I can even get through a YouTube episode of anything, even a YouTube content creator, and I'm passed out. So stay safe, folks. Continue educating yourself, because knowledge is learned and not taught. And if there's anything we can help or suggest, if you're trying to make a move in life or a paradigm shift, reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to sit down and consult with you on some things we did and things you could probably do to help move along in life in a different direction than if you're just stuck in the same old, same old. So we're always here. So God bless. Love y'all. Talk to you soon.